Hi Capricorn, welcome to your energy check-in. As you guys know, these readings are timeless and signless. So that means that you don't actually have to have any Capricorn in your chart at all, and you don't have to be watching this at the time that it's being made, which is in April 2021. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me, you are more than welcome to reach out. Just go ahead and follow the link and you should find my Etsy link, okay? On my Etsy page, I offer 16 readings at this time, and they range from $20 to almost $300. So come on out, see what we have. Energy shifts, past life, you got it. Now, let's jump right in. I do want to say, Capricorn, that before I even throw your cards down here, I was getting some really toxic energies in the heart space. So what I'm feeling for you at this time is that you have a lot of questions coming up, but it's almost like, no, you know what it is? It's like you have a lot of toxic energy coming up, especially around the chest area. And I'm getting the name Charles for some reason. I don't know if that's relevant to anybody here, but that word is coming out. And I just looked at the time here. It said 1:11, the time that for this video. But either way, I'm feeling that if this reading is for you, you may be experiencing a lot of toxic energy that's purging or like literally just wafting off of you. But buried amidst that toxic energy, you have questions that are looming, questions that are coming up. Now, what those questions pertain to are really going to depend on who you are, right? But, oh, look at this. Oh, yeah, you know, and it's almost like these words have no name, have no, like I'm feeling the energy, but they're not being translated, but it feels kind of toxic. I feel a mixture of regret in there as well. I felt some mother issues, unresolved mother issues. I'm feeling unresolved sister issues. I'm feeling somebody has regret for having taken the, you know, the V, let's leave it at that. Somebody has taken it here and or received it and is feeling regret over that. So like I said, there's just a pile of stuff that is coming through on your end, guys. Okay, let's go ahead. Turn it over. Let's see what's up. Okay, a lot of self-blame as well. Lots of self-blame. Like I was to blame. I'm also seeing some love cards here, and I see the power of the masculine, but I have to be honest, I feel like a lot of these love cards here, they're shrouded in fantasy, if I may say so. You guys know, if you've had a reading with me, my guides are so cute. They're like a powerful reading. Thanks, guys. If you've ever had a powerful reading with me, then you will know that my team and I definitely, with a dose of love and compassion, we definitely keep it 100, because that's what we're here for. And I do feel that somebody here is holding on to something that isn't real, a fantasy about somebody, and see how it like ends. It's almost like, I promise I'll do all my work, and if I really do my work, and then it's going to lead to my person, see? And that's feeling, especially right here, it feels a little bit unrealistic. Okay, now if that's you, then, and I just looked at the I just looked at the time, and it said 3 minutes and 34 seconds. So see, it's almost like, had I gotten up just a little bit earlier, I would have been at 333. I wasn't. I was at 334. And so energetically, that's telling me that yes, this is showing there's a lack of realism here. So anyway, let's go ahead and delve deeper into here. For somebody here, you're looking for your sister. So you may be watching this reading, and somehow it's almost like you're expecting a reading for you, but you're watching and you're like, oh, this actually feels like my sister, or some type of sister figure, like your best friend or friend of yours. Very decidedly a feminine energy, and it does feel like this feminine energy is embodied in a female body, okay? But need not be, but it does feel that way. Okay, let me just settle down. Let's roll up these sleeves, literally rolling up my sleeves here, and see what Spirit wants to say. You see what they're saying? They're saying, obviously you don't, but I'll tell you. They're saying we can't work with this. Because to me now, these cards look lifeless. They're just there. They're like, we can't work with this. These are not our cards, is what they're saying. It's like, these are not the chart, because they like to, my team likes to refer to the readings that I do for people as the chart. So I'll be like, oh, okay, well maybe this is a snapshot of their chart, and they're like, this is not our chart. So whatever, so that means that whatever you, the viewer, if this reading is for you, whatever idea you have, oh, forgive me, I just I just noticed that I was, anyway, trying a new nail polish. Whatever ideas you have right now about your situation, they're saying is not real, and it's not what we have for you. So I'm torn because I want to read what you have, but I think I just told you what you think it is. So let me go ahead and grab some other cards, and let's ask Spirit, what do you guys want to tell Capricorn then? If Capricorn, or whoever this is, if they're attracted to this reading based on the title, you're saying that they're not seeing clearly. Okay, well, you guys show us. Okay, all right, thank you guys for obliging. Definitely getting some Four of Swords energy there, so that's about taking a time out. Let's start with this. So great big love, they're acknowledging that there are energies that are in alignment with what you are thinking, guys. You see, oh my god, you see, I said let's take a break, let's stop here and look, let it go. This is what they're, same thing that they're saying. So let's look here. You see how this card wants to line up with this? And so they're saying that yes, there is some energy that aligns based on what you're thinking is the reality and based on what the reality is. So in a sense, this is one of those cards, great big love. So you may very well have a great big love coming for you, but it may not necessarily be the person that you think it is. It may not be in the now moment, like it may not be the time that you're thinking, but you're probably thinking it's now. Or I'm getting somebody here is, oh yes, this actually feels a little bit painful, and trust me, I've been there. That's why these messages can come through me. But I was gonna say, somebody here is holding this idea that in 6 months they'll be with their person, and it feels like this person is getting out of somewhere, either the military service or time in jail or prison or something like that. I'm not saying they're synonymous, but there's something that they, or to a lesser degree, of course, it could be like a school program or just, I don't know, but there's this energy like somebody is held up somewhere, and that the plan is, quote unquote, or the hope is, quote unquote, on the viewer's end, that they'll be reunited in 6 months. And I don't know to what extent this other person who's involved is having the same idea as you. It seems a little bit more open-ended on their end is what I'm seeing. But either way, Spirit is saying that, so you may not actually be seeing something in the right time or with the right person, but you are picking up that there is a connection of significance for you. But look at what card is underneath these, underneath the deck. It's the Let It Go card, because you know what? It's almost like these cute little birds have unraveled that belief. Now let's take a look at that, because I'm starting to feel another energy coming in here. So now we're addressing the same group of people, but it almost feels like two subsets. So let's look at the other subset marked by this card. For some of you, you're kind of starting to realize, yeah, look, a higher view, there it is. Some of you already have gotten out of this ideology. You're starting to realize that this is, you're right, that Spirit is, that you were wrong, you totally were seeing this wrong, and Spirit is right, and that there is somebody else for you, or at the very least, this is not your person. And the reason why is because your energy has been dislodged from whatever energy pattern you were involved in. It could have been a karmic pattern that you were stuck in, low self-worth, inner child issues, attachment issues, whatever it is, you were stuck in that energy there, and something came and dislodged it. This could have been another person, because I'm seeing that with the Rose's Kiss. Maybe you were introduced to somebody else. It doesn't have to even be in a romantic sense. Maybe you have a friend that stepped in and didn't even step in meaningfully, like intentionally, but you started to realize, like, oh my God, like my male friend, for example, is treating me better than this guy that I'm liking right now, or this girl that I'm liking right now. And you start to realize that you're settling for less. So that is the epitome of being, quote unquote, dislodged from where you were. And so what I'm seeing here is that this reading seems to be geared towards a group or a collective of people who were under the impression that they were working towards a connection with a specific person, and they most likely had a specific time in mind. However, as the guides are pointing out here, this is not the reality. And so there needs to be a clearing up of energies. That's why we see this Four of Swords. Four of Swords, well, it's not Four Swords in this oracle deck, but I'm feeling the energy. And, you know, guys, we don't need the cards to read, God bless, but the cards are lovely. And so I'm just feeling Four of Swords energy, which is time out. Now, what's the time out for? Depends on you. For some of you, the time out is to get your mind clear. For some of you, the time out is to almost to get acclimated to something new that will end up getting your mind clear. So for some of you, you're going to switch. There's something about a switch. Some of you may actually switch locations because of a job, or switch a home or something like that, and it's going to lead you. Some of you may just have an hour shift, or not an hour, work shift. You guys, listen, we all know. You know how like you like this person at school or at work, and you know you guys are, you know, got a little crush thing going on, but then one of you ends up changing majors or having a different class pattern, or now they work at another location, and it kind of falls apart because there wasn't anything there that was really based on a firm foundation, right? So that's what I'm seeing here for those who are going through some type of shift that's taking you away or out of this influence. Either way, some of you still have not gotten to this place where it's clear. And then others have definitely gotten to this place because you've already been dislodged by something. It could be some awareness, or you're starting to notice that people like other people are treating you better or something. Yeah, let's call it divine intervention, okay? Also, I forgot to mention you guys that this video is going to be done in my old style, very similar to my old style. My old style, when I first opened this channel, I would do 45-minute readings, a little bit longer at times. And so I would like to get back to that because I do prefer it. If you prefer the shorter readings, then please do check out my Instagram channel. It's called @Awakening All You Lightworkers, and so that's that. But this one's going to be a bit longer, okay? Anyway, yes. So, yeah, so it looks like, and you know what this card is giving me? The guides are like saying, we're watching you. So the guides are saying, we're watching all of you. It's not in a negative way or anything. It's like, we're looking out for you. It's an energy like we're looking out for you and we're monitoring you. So when you're monitoring somebody, it's good because it's almost like, okay, like a mom. When you monitor your children, you allow them to play, you allow them to get into scrapes and all sorts of stuff, but you won't let them walk off. You won't let them wade into the ocean so far that they're gonna, you know, float away. So at least we shouldn't, right? And we do our best not to. And so that's what they're saying. So that's what's going on here. And so I do feel that all of you will eventually, oops, oh, what's that? Oh, nice. All of you will eventually wade away from this fantasy energy. Now let's take a look here. It says let go so that you can unravel and get your mind quiet. See how there's this cute little, can you guys see that far? It's actually a lot higher than it looks. Okay, I'll bring it. Take a look here. You see how we have this cute little heart? It's almost like cut out, like with a scissor. Well, look right here. How cute, right? It's being hung to dry. It's a star, but it's like in her heart place. Look, it's a little cute little star being hung out to dry. So what Spirit is saying is during this moment when you're being asked to let go and you're being asked to rest, and kind of they're saying come to your senses. So there's an energy of the absurd involved here. Now I say that because I'm channeling, so if you do feel that it's coming across a certain type of way, please don't take it any certain type of way. I'm just channeling and that's how it is, and I'm watching too. Yeah, but I was gonna say, to me, you know, that sounds a little harsh because I've been there before, and it's like, what? No, this is a real, Spirit guides, this is real. And then, you know, when I finally get out of that mentality, I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking? This guy's like 9 years younger than me. What was I thinking? This guy is like this way, this is his lifestyle, mine is this way, this is my lifestyle. We're two different people, and we don't even live in the same area, you know. And it's like the absurd is in there. Okay, I'm not saying that's my story, but I'm just making a point. Anyway, my point is, Spirit is saying there's a sense of the absurd in this story that you've been telling yourself, and for whatever reason, it feels real. And look how it ends. See how it ends so perfectly at the end with the masculine. In this case, the masculine is just referring to who or whatever it is that your object of affection is. It doesn't have to be a male body at all. But Spirit is saying that during this rest time, while they're helping you out, while your mind is getting right, they're going to be introducing you to some new things, like new hobbies, new ideas. There's going to be a little bit of sleight of hand. And when I say sleight of hand, I'm going to explain that. That means a little bit like they're going to shift your focus so that you can get into new things. Like they might teach you new, or they might help you to become interested in some new hobby, or meet someone, a friend, meet someone new, or just get into something. Meanwhile, your mind is off of whatever this is, and they can get in there and tweak it. Imagine if you're a cute robot. Remember that little girl? Oh, Small Wonder. Okay, I'm dating myself right now. If you know who Small Wonder is, then you might be too. Unless you like retro things. Well, Small Wonder was a little girl robot. It was on TV. God bless. Great show. Now, you know her panel opened in her back. Now, let's say that they need to do work on her. They can just divert her attention. She turns around, and then they open a panel and they do whatever work needs to be done. That's the energy that I'm getting. Now, they're saying the reason why they're doing it that way is so that you can, to kind of protect your emotions, so you don't get overwhelmed with grief, is what I'm getting. Because a lot of times it's like let's give a nice analogy, like a child, a little baby, right? A little baby who's old enough to want to play with this remote, even though like you're like, look, little kid, no. Right? And the kid's like a baby and they want to play with the remote, but you're an adult and you need the remote, and this baby doesn't even know what a remote is, but it's changing the channel and you're trying to watch it. So you're not going to like pull the remote, because they're going to start crying. They're going to experience loss, and then they're going to experience grief, and then they're going to go through all of the stages, except for bargaining, because like how, right? But we bargain. We try to bargain. We saw it right here. Dear God, if I promise, if I do all my spiritual stuff, if I'm good, and it'll lead to no bargaining. No bargaining. Instead, what you're going to want to do is divert the attention of the baby with something else. Eventually, they will just give up the thing, or they turn their attention, you pull it away, and then it's just different, right? And so that's what Spirit is showing here. And so this is feeling a lot like mercy. It's a merciful ending for what we're proposing, is what they're saying. So the reason why they said what we're proposing, look at that, a tall tale. Yeah, see? They're so funny. They're saying what we're proposing, and it feels like they're saying it that way because it's like you have to get on board. And if you're not going to at least get on board with this idea of we're here to divinely intervene to help you, just surrender, let us do some things, let's work some energy shifts, let's whatever it is that we need, then you might end up having a tower moment or something that may be less enjoyable, or less, I don't know. Look at that, exposed and revealed, right? It has to be your will. This is where you see how it's building up. Your will has to be shifted. Instead of making it about, it's my will to have this fantasy come true because I know it's supposed to be true, and it's almost too easy. Look at this ease card, right? A merry motive. Like, it feels good to have this idea that it's going to end well because I chose it, and because I chose it, this person has to like me back, and so I'm just going to put that into existence. But you see, Spirit is saying surrender it to them. Let them give you the time out. Let them do the energetic shifts, do the shadow work, the inner child work, whatever, the journaling, whatever you need to do, the crying, whatever works for you. Let them take care of it so that it's easier. And then you will even start to see that something is not right here. But I'll tell you what, after you make this movement here, after you get to this place, for those of you already at a higher perspective, because you're starting to realize that, oh, this person isn't my person. And that could be, again, because you have met somebody or gone through some experience that has dislodged it. For some of you, you possibly met somebody. For some of you, your higher self pulled you by the neck. I'm seeing that clearly. For some of you, you may have had energetic shifts, Reiki, energy shifting, any energy healing, whatever it is. You're just at a place now where you have surrendered. And so Spirit is saying eventually all of you will get to this place where you start to realize, oh my God, well, I'm glad I'm out of that, because that wasn't the right thing to unlock my heart. In other words, I thought I was going to be happy with that, but it wasn't the real 10 of Cups moment. Now, why wasn't it the real 10 of Cups moment? 10 of Cups in the Tarot is emotional fulfillment. It's happiness. It means having a full heart, for real's real. Now, why isn't it? Now, what was missing? The alignment. Take a look. 7 and 4 is 11, 11, 11, right? And then 3 of Pentacles is teamwork. You were missing the reciprocity. You were missing this other person actually, giving to the connection. So if this reading, let me say this. If you are dealing with a connection where there is reciprocity for real, then this is not your reading, okay? You may share some elements, so definitely stay and enjoy, have some popcorn, God bless. We like people just staying and watching. But, and there could be other messages tucked in for you as well, so discernment. But this is usually this is geared towards people who are just not getting anywhere with this connection. And yes, sure, maybe some of you might be like, yeah, there's reciprocity. Like, we hang out. Like, this person, calls me like every few days, when they're not busy. And every now and then they'll take me out. And yeah, okay, maybe I pay for it. Or maybe like we don't ever actually go out. They just come over and we just hang out, and then they like leave, so you have to look at what's going on. You may think there's reciprocity, but in that case you may be getting effort from them, right? But that's a little bit more dangerous for somebody some people, they don't get any effort back, and that's a little safer, I think, this is me personally, than when you're in a connection with somebody and they are giving you something back and the quality is low. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say man because, whatever. This man, of course he's going to want to come and hang out and come to your place and have dinner and after work. Yeah, because that man has no food in the fridge. He's going to come to your place after his job, when he feels like it, and he's going to eat your food, and then he's going to spend time with you, and then what? He's going to bounce for the next 3 days. And then but every day for the next 3 days, you're waiting for some text. You're waiting all day. Has he mentioned anything? Like, that's just poor quality interaction. And that, I think, is much worse than if you're dealing with someone who just isn't even giving anything. I know many people say, but actually it's crazy if you're going after someone who's not giving you anything. But remember, look, it's fantasy, right? It's fantasy. And so when let's look at this word fantasy, because it has a little bit of a pejorative meaning, but we remember it's built upon, this is a real phenomenon because it's built upon low self-worth. It's built upon conditioning from when we're young. It's built upon inner child issues, abandonment issues, rejection issues. There could also be some really, really, really strong past life patterns that are going on. It could be anything. So we don't judge, right? We don't judge. But in this lifetime, we owe it to ourselves to really assess where we are and to not only ask the question in any connection, whether it's romantic or not, is there reciprocity? And if there isn't, then next, right? That's just how it is. And if there is the reciprocity actually affirming for me? Is it worth anything? And you have to really know yourself, and you really have to get to this place where you can say that, yes, this gives me emotional fulfillment. So for example, I would say that most of us watching these videos would love to have somebody greet them in the morning, like, bling, morning, How did you sleep, right? Or, they know that you have some important presentation or something at work, or that your boss is like your boss is transitioning to another department or something, and they actually ask after it. They ask after you and how you're doing with whatever is going on in your life, right? But a lot of us are settling for situations where these people don't even try. And it's kind of like we don't call them on it. We're just going to say, okay, well, it's better than nothing. And after a while, that gets old. But so do we, right? And so the point is to really get to this place where we can protect ourselves. So the guides are actually also saying that not only is it about getting older and recognizing that, yes, we're getting older, we deserve a good quality connection with somebody. Oh, guides. But also it's about protecting ourselves in the physical, because when I say this, imagine you are allowing this kind of energetic stream, this kind of person who just is not giving you much. Who knows, they may be attracting other low people, they might be with other people, they may be low vibing, so now your luck is affected, and then you are trying to get an apartment, you have the money, and you have the desire to move, but all the places that you're going to just aren't that good, and you're like, what's going on? And you look at yourself and you're like, I don't know what happened, but I used to have much better luck, so all these kinds of things are happening. So that's why Spirit is saying that it's good spiritual care to make sure that you are giving yourself what you need, and that you're surrounding yourself by people, places, things, and situations that are of the highest quality. So if you're not in a place where you're fulfilled and you're continuing to compromise yourself to keep whatever this thing is in your life, this form, this material, whether in the form of a person, a place, a thing, or situation, it's at your expense, right? So you really owe it to yourself to make sure that it's good quality. Now they're addressing something about a mother issue. So somebody here, could be more than one because they're mentioning it, but Spirit is asking you, what would you think your ideal mother would say about this situation that you're in? Look, we don't even need to bring that up, because look, and I say ideal mother because some of you may feel like, oh, well, my mother wasn't actually invested, or maybe you don't respect your mother's opinion or whatever, but you have an idea about what a perfect mother would be, right? The perfect mother lets you make mistakes, but they'll call it out. They're like, hey, what are you doing? I didn't raise you for you to be sitting by the phone waiting for this person to call you. I didn't raise you for you to be disappointed every time this person comes around. I didn't raise you for you to play small. And I didn't raise you to get smaller and smaller and smaller and accept less and less and less over time because you want to fit into somebody's life. Like, what is this? And they'll tell you, like, you've changed, right? And so some of you may actually have people in your life speaking those kinds of words. They may not be your actual mom. They could be a friend. For somebody here, you have a male friend that is echoing these motherly words to you. And I know sometimes when we're caught up in it, we don't want to hear it, but please know that if you're receiving those messages from anyone, even if it's on the side of a newspaper, it's been directed to you, and they're the words of a wise mother, a wise and loving mother. And there's those words and those people and those energies are standing in. The people who are coming in with those messages are the form, the material, right? The embodied physical counterpart to that energetic frequency of love. And so you have to honor both the words and the energy and the form that comes with it. Just like a low self-worth is a low vibration energy, it pulls in certain forms, certain people. You want to get rid of the people and the energy, because where the energy or the template is, the material forms upon it. And that's why when we do our shadow work, or we get energetic shifts, and we do other types of psychological services that change our minds about things, it kind of gets rid of that energetic template. It's dissolved, right? And so then the form has to fall away. The relationship has to end. The job that doesn't help you has to go. The home that's no longer for you has to go as well. And that's what we're trying to do here, Spirit is saying. Thank you, Spirit. But they're saying the first thing starts with your awareness. And that's why, if this reading is for you, they've started by pointing out with love that you're following a line of reasoning that isn't realistic. And so they're telling you to surrender that line of reasoning, at least to surrender to spirit so that they can bring in alternate forms. They're also saying alternate forms of revenue. So that is because this is going to affect your abundance, of course, right? But also for some of you, you may be having fantasies not about a specific person, but about dreams about a place or a business or something. Whatever it is, allow spirit to come in and work through you and work for you. And they're saying that once that happens, the goal is of exposing you to the reality and revealing what it is that you're actually doing here, which is spinning around in circles, is going to be achieved. And so what are you going to realize? That all of this is just, as they say, a tall tale. Now, let's take a look. And they're going to elevate your consciousness. And you know what? Like I said, for a lot of you, you may have been really picking up on the fact that there is somebody for you, but the fantasy got in the way. And so you were making a mistake about who and when, most likely. Now let's take a look at this tall tale. Whew, I'm out of breath. Oh my God. I always talk just talking for, anyway. All right, let me just take a sip of water. Oh, good Lord. You're thirsty when even water tastes like the best thing on earth. So anyway, let's go back. Let's feel into this energy of that card where it says a tall tale. What I'm feeling is that the question we should be asking is why? Why? What gave rise to this tale in the first place? What gave rise to these beliefs in the first place? And so as I'm looking here, I'm feeling that for a lot of you, this has a lot to do with conditioning. And I'm seeing it's a generational thing. So you may very well be acting out a very, very generationally set pattern from your I'm saying from your lifetime, but from your, sorry guys, my neighbors are out with their dogs, with based on how your family used to do things. I'm seeing generations going back. Of course we can also talk about past lifetimes, of course, because that's always something. But another thing I'd like to point out here is that for some of you, I'm seeing that there was almost like a trauma point. Some type of trauma point happened for you in this lifetime. It feels very much this lifetime. And in that moment, there was a dissociation that happened. And the dissociation manifested as denial. I'm not going to pay attention to this. People are telling me this. I'm not going to pay attention to it. And it's a defense mechanism, completely understandable. But the thing about defense mechanisms is that they're very useful in the moment, but they tend to stick around for quite some time afterward. And unfortunately, then they start to obstruct our livelihood. They start to hinder our ability to live a fruitful life because we no longer need that defense mechanism to be in place, but it's still running because we haven't dismantled it. And so I do feel that from that trauma point, a form of dissociation and denial was activated. And from then on, it's like this idea in your mind that, well, what I want, I get, right? Or I know my person is coming. They're coming. It has to be the case. And so any person that shows up, and maybe even just shows you attention, maybe not all of you, but just shows you attention, it's like, this is my person. It has to be, right? And maybe some of us struggle to put more than one egg in to put our eggs in more than one basket, right? Because it kind of somehow goes against this pattern, this framework that we have in mind that was enacted from a trauma point in your life. All right, so if this is sounding like you, then this is a completely understandable reason for why this quote unquote tall tale, to use these words, would have been put into place. Now, I do want to talk about this phenomenon with the twin flames. I feel like my guides They've been really having me touch on this topic in a lot of the readings this month. Now, let's put it out there. There is a such thing as twin flames, okay? But I also want to put it out there that based on what my guides are saying, and especially for the people who are watching like this video, for example, I would say a lot of the people, if they need to be culled, because not everybody and their mother who has an idea that they have a twin out there has one, or it's not their journey. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes it's too, like I said, the trauma point, or they have attachment issues. They're anxiously attached, for example, right? Or they have inner child wounding, or they've had, sexual abuse in their past, which does create a major disruption for them, or they've had some type of emotional abuse as well, or something, there's abuse. And so you have to understand that a lot of these a lot of people who are quote unquote attracted to and maintain relationships that are easily referred to, sometimes too easily, as my twin or my twin flame, it's not real. These are people who need trauma work. There's trauma there. And so the question is, well, who am I? Are they? And then what about all these readers who talk about this and that? Are they not picking up on something? Yeah, I actually do believe that a lot of them are picking up on energetic patterns, right? And that's their job. They're seers. They give information out. But unfortunately, I mean, they can't control all of the people who come to watch, right? So a lot of people will come and they have easy access. They watch something and they're like, oh, this sounds like my connection, and this is my person, and he's really thinking about me, but he's scared, and that time, if you look into their energy field, because I know I do take a lot as clients, and then I look in and I'm like, no, this is not the case. This is somebody that is blah 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 blah, and it's something that you're supposed to overcome, and so it's actually not a twin flame connection. And so I am not everybody, but I do have to tell you, in, let's say, at least 600 readings within just the last like 2 or 3 years, I would have to say that I've only personally come across three clients who have an energetic signature that just feels completely different. It feels like a marriage, a sacred marriage. The energy is completely different from, all that I've had. So I really can't co-sign as much, but I do believe that twin flames and those kinds of things are a reality. But I also believe that the vast majority of the people that we see watching videos on YouTube and living their life from this place, it's not real for them. It's mostly, it's meeting you where you are, but you can't stay there. You have to keep moving forward, because it's a tool for inquiry, right? So as I like to say, it's an invitation to inquiry. And anywhere we are in life, at any point in life, it's not a failure point at all. It is a point, no matter where you are and what you're doing, it is a point for inquiry. And it is a point to understand, where am I? What are my challenges? What would I like to see improved for myself? That's that authenticity. And then it's a point to, overcome and transcend and move on to the next thing. Because a lot of times we are blocking our soul's evolution. And of course, we're always evolving every day. But it is very common for people to stay, quote unquote, stuck in one place because of an ideology or a pattern of thought that just isn't real. It's not real, and so it is disruptive, let's put it that way, because you end up staying stuck and you end up settling for less. And our guides want us to do nothing but enjoy goodness. And what is goodness, quote unquote? Goodness is when you are, let's see, what would goodness be? And the way our guides would love it. Our guides, God bless them, would love it if we could be brave, get in touch with ourselves, even if to say, I like this guy so much and I really want him to be my person, but he's not ideal. Why? See, the language isn't like, he's not my person. It's just acknowledging he's not ideal, and nobody is, but he's not ideal because he doesn't return my calls the way I'd like. He doesn't put me first. He doesn't tell me he cares. He doesn't make time for me. He doesn't let go of his exes. He doesn't. And listen, all of that is just redonkulous, okay? There is no way to go through that with somebody and stay stuck. Because a lot of times as a reader, as I'm working with people individually, those same people that, like those things we just listed, that takes time. You have to get in touch with who you are and work on some shadows to be able to transform some of those patterns we just talked about. Not letting go of exes, for example, and or not showing up for a connection. That's energy. It's energy. It's reciprocity. It's missing, and that's because what's missing is them giving to themselves, right? So I don't want to like beat a dead drum, but I'm not a dead drum, dead horse, but I'm not. It's part of the reading. The point is, no horses were hurt during this reading, but the point is we have to open our eyes. And speaking of that, look what's dead in the center, exposed and revealed, because spirit is culling. That's what they're doing. That's why this message keeps coming up in a lot of the readings I'm doing right now. For the zodiac, you have to get rid. Where it's time to get rid, it's time to cut cords. Now, we're not cutting cords. Please don't think of it as cutting cords from people. If you think about it as cutting cords from people, then you're not getting to the source. What we're actually doing is we are transmuting and transforming through awareness and energetic shifts, your connection or your attachment to energy patterns. It's the energetic templates that we want to clear, because the matter or the form which shows up as the person, a place, a thing, a situation, a job, a boat, whatever, those things are manifestations that can attach themselves to these energetic patterns. They're the manifestations of these patterns. So we have to clear the patterns. And so the first thing that we do to clear the patterns is bring awareness to it. And so this is one of those readings. It's calling you, okay? It's like the angels calling you. You know that song Calling You from Baghdad Cafe? If you want to, anyway, there's such a hauntingly angelic version of that. I wanted to give you the version, but my guides, I feel like they're stopping me from giving it. Maybe, I don't know, but there's, I'm just gonna, so angelic, that version. But anyway, long story short, go check out the song. And if you stumble upon the version that I'm telling you about, you'll know, because you'll feel it in there. But anyway, so spirit is trying to call you now. It's like rise up. And I'm starting to get the energy of the rebirth card, or the not justice. Oh yeah, justice too, girl. Girl. I'm just talking to all of you, girls, guys. The justice card. Oh, the justice card. Sticky little fingers over everything. The justice card wants to end it all the time. Hurts. But I was actually going to say the judgment card. The judgment or rebirth card is all over this reading as well. No wonder the justice card is kind of taking a seat right now, but they watch. And the reason why is because spirit is, imagine Archangel Gabriel blowing that horn, and the angels start to sing, and when they sing, it's the frequency that goes and it reaches you straight in, and it says, hey, I don't know what you're doing right now, but we're calling you right now, and this is to wake up. And so I imagine that if you're on this call right now with us, this is for you, and you're going to feel it. It's going to feel a little like, like it's me. It feels a little strange. It's like, I don't know what you're doing in your life right now, but this is the time. This is the time. This is the time. We told you we would call and we'd wake you up, and now's the time to wake up. Like in Inception, right? When they play that song, it wakes you up from the different levels and brings you back up to the top. So this is the time to have this awakening. It's like a mass awakening, okay? And what's going to happen is that you're going to really start to clear out. And I do feel that this is where you're going. Some of you have already gotten here, the higher view. Oh, let's go ahead. Now it's funny because as I just picked it up, I just noticed my shirt, because as I told you guys earlier that some of you are dislodged already. by somebody or some force, and it's shown by this, and take a look at my shirt, right? So spirit doesn't play. So that's what I'm saying. For those of you who aren't awake yet or haven't awakened from this, you know, energetically, this reading is for you. Okay? And look at that. Look at the energy that's going on there with that card as well. So anywho, oh my gosh, I love our angels. They're so good. And you know what? This is kind of going back to what they said earlier. Yes, we're monitoring you. That's what's up. Look at that. Look at that coloring. We're monitoring you. They're monitoring you. So it's not, you're not going to be able to drift away. You're not going to be able to drift away. Okay? They know what's in your heart and they know what's going on, but now it's time to have the call, so to speak. Okay, is there anything else that you guys would like to tell them? They're saying go forth and conquer. And I'm feeling my wrists kind of feel like held a little bit, like it's like held, both of them. I can't hold both of it. But when they say go forth and conquer, it's like they've called a whole bunch of you into the room, because I'm feeling your energies on this call. I'm feeling all of the potential energies who can watch this video, right? And so they've called you all here, and it's like they've given you this energetic frequency to capture, to change you, and to inform you. And now it's go back to where you come from. Go forth and conquer. Take all of this and continue on, but get it done. You know, change whatever it is that you need to change. Okay, so I would say, guys, just as a heads up, I would say that you have had an energetic transfer here today. Some of you, I'm sure, had to have felt it, and if you didn't feel it, it's okay. It still happened, right? Remember what they told you. They almost said, remember what we told you. Remember what we told you earlier, that they're going to give you a little sleight of hand, but they're going to reach in the back and they're going to give you what it is that you need, right? So for those of you who didn't feel anything, guess what? They got in there. So please make sure that you drink a lot of water, and just surrender. Allow yourself to get rest, because they're going to be doing some work on your energetic field. I wanted to say some heavy lifting, right? So it's going to influence you guys in a different way, because you guys are different. God bless. Some of you may have a little bit of a physical reaction. Some people get sore when they get downloads or whatnot. Then some people have more of an emotional reaction. I'm an emotional one, so I'd be like crying. Next minute I'm angry. Next minute I'm trying to bargain, and then others, this one I like. Oh, can I get this one? Or there are others who get really creative. It's like they take all their grief, and which I feel is stored behind the nose. I'm feeling that they take. Oh, they're saying these are the advanced ones. Okay, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, well, can I try this too? I don't know. They take their grief, and I feel it behind. It's almost like they take all their grief and they put it in a certain location, like behind their nose. And then they start to do their art or their creativity, whatever it is, and they channel it out through whatever it is that they're doing. So that's a really, really, really great way of transforming pain. And so, if that's what you aspire to, do it, right? Do all of it. And so either way, I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys here. And Spirit is giving the promise of love. They're showing me this rose here, the love card. They're saying, but you have to love yourself first. You have to love yourself first, is what they're saying. Aww. And they just had me look at this note I have here. How to honor myself. Oh my God, yeah. So there's some ideas that you can do to kind of love yourself. I mean, there are many, but you can buy yourself flowers. You can give yourself the time and the space that you need to really heal. And if you don't feel like going out for the night, you let people know. Hey guys, I love you guys, but I just need this right now, just whatever. Give yourself little gifts, right? Some ice cream, an ice cream scoop with a cone, and try to avoid activities that actually drain you. Yeah, baby steps, okay? And they're going to come in and help you. All right, so if you'd like to have a personal reading with me, you know where to find me. Go ahead and check my Etsy link, and I do offer energetic shifts as well. and all sorts of stuff. Okay, until then, guys, love you, love you, love you. Mwah. Bye.